Okay, today on the basic series what we're going to do is we're going to talk about cutting out strings. So it seems pretty easy or intuitive of how you would actually do this, but let's say if those strings have not been broken, you want to basically ease the pressure evenly as much as you can. And if you're going to use regular scissors, of course that's going to work fine. However, for the long term I wouldn't recommend regular scissors because generally it's harder to cut the string with scissors, and I always have had problems with it just kind of hurting as I'm cutting them out. Of course you can use your cutters to do so. Many times if you're cutting one string at a time separately, these work great. I like to use shears, and of course these have kind of worn, part of them are broken, but these have worked really well, and so I'll use these to kind of just go through. Now, which way are you going to actually cut strings? If you start in the middle, that's usually the preferred way that I've seen a lot of people do, that I've done over the years, where I will start in the middle and then I'll go one direction, I'll go the other direction, and then go down. Many times, even at tournaments, you just start here, go all the way up. That way you only have 3 cuts, really, because you're just going straight through this way, because you're doing it really quick. If you really want to get technical and do one at a time and kind of do it so that it evenly cuts through and the pressure is pretty even that way, you can do one string at a time, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. So another way that I've actually seen it too, before I forget, is cutting just diagonally, just starting in one end and just cutting it like that. Alright, so what we'll do is, so let's say, so you're going to start with one cross, then you're going to go to the main, then you're going to go to another cross, then you're going to go to a main, then you're going to go to a cross. I probably did this a little bit off, but basically what you want to do is you just want to hit the next string as you're going through, and you can kind of hear as it's breaking apart. This way does tend to take a little bit longer because, you know, however else, how quick you can, and I'm not doing it as fast here just so that I can show you kind of how you could do that. And then what you're doing is you're kind of just going in a box shape. And then you just keep going until you have all of the strings cut. Maybe I missed one up there. Let's see. Okay, and then I might have not started exactly in the middle, and then that left me with one up here. And then what I will tend to do, then what I'll tend to do is I'll grab some scissors or something, and then I'll kind of loosen them all, especially with poly. This really helps because that way when you pull them out, you don't have to, there's no friction anymore. So generally I'll just kind of loosen them up, and then what I'll do is I'll go like this, pushing them toward the outsides. You can see that. I'll try to put that on the camera. It's kind of hard. These strings have been in here quite some time, so it's a little hard to get them all working for me. And then I'll just pull them out a couple at a time. Some of them are kind of staying in there. They're not helping me out any. So that every once in a while, and then of course when you reach the knots, then you have to, in this case, see, this isn't going to come out because there's a knot there. So I have to pull that out all the way to make sure the 2 strings connected to the knot, and then I can pull the knot through. But that's kind of generally how I do it. Now, let me just show you the other way where I'll do it. I'll cut from the center out. Let me grab another racket. Alright, so we have this racket here, which actually I just recently strung. And so the two ways here, if you're just going to cut it as quick as you can start at the bottom, cut all the way through, and then go to, that way you only have 3 cuts. If you start in the middle and go up and go down, then you have 4 cuts, but it goes really quick. So I'll just start here and then work my way. Turn the racket around. That, do that, and then loosen it up like this. Brings all the strings to the edge like that with the loops, and then you can just grab the loops and take it all out. And that way it doesn't take you more than a minute to do so. But of course, when I start all the way at the bottom and I'm cutting that pressure, you can see how this might be a little bit more wear on the racket than starting at the center and working your way out. But if you're doing it quickly and you've got a lot of rackets to do, generally that's probably the way that I would do it, or start in the center. Okay, hopefully that was informative. Go ahead and leave a comment or a question, and if you do it a different way that works well, please let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.